Hello, everyone. My name is Shreya Krishnan. I'm Senior Vice President and Head of Marketing and Communications at Anvati Insurance Brokers. Amongst other things, I'm the advisory boards of 4 for-profits and 4 not-for-profits. I'm here today to speak about something that's very close to my heart. I'm an activist and earth warrior. I'm a poet, I'm a dancer, and all of my performances and my activism has lost lines and blended into one. So what I've realized over time is social impact and social impact communications can go a long way in everything that brands do and positively impact brands and messaging for brands if they speak up about their purpose and what they stand for and their values. So here I am today to talk to you all about this, and I'm going to quickly share a presentation with all of you. Social impact communications is something that I think that brands should be aware of, especially when they are looking at the way they impact their consumers, they impact the planet. So when you look at triple bottom lines, the planet, people, and profits are the 3 things that brands and organizations should look at when they really plan on how their scale has to go and what direction the brand wants to take its future. I'm going to actually start with brands and social impact. So businesses need to link the cause to their brands. It has to be linked to how the business functions as well. The purpose, like I spoke about already, has to be found. Involve and invite volunteering from consumers. Now, brands can benefit immensely by finding causes that also deeply touch their consumers, and finding that sweet spot can actually help them have a better impression on their consumer base. Cause-based brand ambassadors, I think brands have largely come to recognize, and the fact that there are ambassadors and influencers that exist in the world today. The Mirza is a great example of a sustainability pro celebrity who's great when it comes to brands that are looking at endorsing sustainable products and sustainability. So that's a great example. Purchase impact and consumer journey. Now, understanding the fact that consumers want to be aware of where their product or service is coming from. What is the footprint in terms of carbon? Are we planet positive as a brand? All of these are things that we should be able to share with our consumers fairly freely. Now, having said that, finding also a sweet spot when it comes to products that the brand has or owns that can actually find purpose to change the way things are looked at in terms of society and societal impact can also have very, very positive reinforcements when it comes to branding and standing for social impact. I'm going to actually play to you this ad. It's called Dove Choose Beautiful. It is by Dove, one of the brands that's worked immensely in the space of body positivity and natural beauty, and has tried to redefine the media standards of beautiful. So here's an ad. Please sit back and watch this one.
We had an option of 2 pathways to walk, and they led to 2 doorways.
Given the choice between a door labeled beautiful or a door labeled average, which would you choose? Dove's latest campaign set up entrances in Shanghai, San Francisco, London, Sao Paulo, and Delhi. They watched as women made the decision to walk through the beautiful door or the average door.
I went through the average door.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I didn't even hesitate.
漂亮对我的概念来说就是像明星那种遥不可及的那种。我走的是一般。
Surprisingly, many women walked through the average door. In a recent survey by Dove, 96% of women do not choose the word beautiful to describe their appearance.
I walked into that door which said average and I didn't feel really good after that.
Todos os dias eu passo pela porta comum e ontem foi dia único e eu optei por passar pelo bonita.
The powerful results sparked a conversation about how women perceive their own beauty, and Dove wants them to be able to always choose beautiful.
I wanted to go through the average door, but my mum just pulled me over to the beautiful door.
Maybe I could walk in that door. You can.
It was quite a triumphant feeling. It was like telling the world, I think I'm beautiful.
The hashtag Choose Beautiful campaign sends a meaningful message, and we hope it helps to inspire women all over the world. Be sure to tune in to Inside Edition.
So that was an example of how Dove used their purpose and what they believed in for a social impact scenario. So moving on now, we'll talk about the next segment of what I have up my sleeve, which is social media and PR. Now, aligning PR and social media to what you believe is social impact becomes very, very imperative, because what you do, what you say has to be consistent across brands and spaces. So it becomes important that your voice and your brand positioning is sort of kept in the same sort of light when it comes to your PR or reputation efforts and your social media. Social media's impact on PR is something that we don't even have to now discuss. It's something that's fairly out there for everybody to know, that no more are the two independent of each other. It's important to plan your channels, because every channel doesn't work for every aspect. There are various channels that fit various requirements, whether you're a B2B or a B2C brand and you're still driven by purpose and you still want to do social impact. The audience is different on each of the platforms and the channels. So it's important to plan your channel. And once you plan your channel, then it's important to plan your campaign. You can have the same campaign running across channels, but remember to tweak it according to the channel and the audience that the channel has subscribed, in terms of who is watching and what they want to see from you. Hashtags and reach are important. Remember to use hashtags in a form and manner that benefits the organization and helps you leave a footprint and allows for more people to join and sort of use that and take it up. And that way you get more impressions. Of course, influencer engagement. Social impact influencers do exist. There are several social impact influencers who want to be the voice of reason and change out there. It's about finding them and engaging with the right ones. So when you look at social media and PR, they become very, very powerful tools in your social impact communication channels and actually become a part of the brand's voice and positioning. Here's another ad that I want to share with you. This is the Savlon Healthy Hands ad campaign that
Kids love to use their hands. Kids explore the world with their hands. In India, they use their hands for one more thing: eating food. Not washing their hands with soap is one of the main causes for illnesses and dropouts.
वो पानी में हाथ डालता है और अपने कपड़े से ही पूछता है। छोटे बच्चे हैं, उसे जल्दी भूख लगती है। साबुन वापरतात का? नहीं। कोई आदत नहीं होती, घर में भी माँ बाप उनको नहीं सिखाते, इसलिए सब बच्चे ये नहीं सीख सकते।
So we gave shape to a simple idea. We infused chalk sticks with soap. Introducing Savlon Healthy Hands Chalk Sticks. These work just like regular chalk sticks. But at lunch break, they did more than just writing. The chalk powder turned into soap on its own. Through such initiatives, Savlon Swasth India is reaching out to schools across the country. Kids' health will now be in good hands, their own.
Again, a great example of how a brand like Savlon took what it believes in terms of health and hands and hygiene, and converted that into a very relevant, on-the-ground, problem-solving, innovative way of actually addressing this much larger problem and increasing reach, increasing fondness for the brand, because the brand did something that not a lot of brands in this space have done. So it's exciting to see brands trying to infuse their communications, their campaigns, and sort of tie that all in with their social impact and their reach. So when you look at it, you want to communicate social impact by ensuring that you're engaging your stakeholders. That means both your internal audiences, your stakeholders above you, investors, and your external stakeholders, your advisors, your boards, everybody is sort of tied into the idea of what the social impact angle for the organization is and stands for. Tell the full story, because there's immense power in the ability to tell these stories and to be able to actually create that a voluminous sort of change, or at least to talk about awareness for change is important to tell the full story. Making a difference or creating an impact has always led to change in some form, and the biggest change starts with us. So brands have a great onus and responsibility to sort of become the change that they want to see in the society around them. Building a values-aligned market, it's also the onus of brands to sort of make or educate their consumer about values which are in the market that you want to sort of talk about in terms of what it is that you want to promote as an idea or an ideology or a philosophy. So that becomes important from the point of view of brands trying to think about how are they going to build that values-aligned market that they want to cater to. The next one that I would want to talk about is Samsung Predict to Prevent. I'm not going to be taking you through this, but it's a great campaign because Samsung found out that depression and the causes of depression were words which could potentially hurt the people that they were sent to. So it actually came up with several keywords that would change or alter the language of the text to be friendly and not cause hurt or to not trigger further depression. So this is a great campaign, again, something I would recommend everybody to watch. How fit content and communication into your overall brand strategy. Now, the brand strategy has to be aligned to business and revenue and all of that. But having said that, the content and the communication piece that's built around any social impact campaign needs to fit into the brand strategy. You can't dissociate it from that. And discover and link the purpose. Like I said, most brands, I think through the pandemic, especially in the times that we're in right now, have gone deeper, drilled deeper to find purpose for themselves as organizations and brands. And I think that is very important now to sort of link that purpose back into the messaging and the communication. Get comfortable with the brand voice. Initially, when you're infusing social impact into brand voice, it can seem unreal, it can seem new, but adjusting to that and getting comfortable with it becomes very important for you to be able to communicate what the brand wants to communicate in terms of why it's going down this path. Build a content strategy and plan measurement. Content has to be thought through to the point that content becomes your make or break sort of cog in the wheel. So that becomes important for you to think of when you want to pick up and see what is it that you want to say and how do you want to say it. Through that, anything that you do as a campaign is wasted if it's not measured. So setting and strategically measuring what you want as outcomes. It could be return on outcomes, return on objectives, return on investment, however it is that you want to look at it. But what is it that you're measuring and how are you measuring it for the optimum use for the brand? Build brand authority through content. In terms of when you say thought leadership, I would call this social impact leadership. How are you going to build authority by the brand, for the brand, for it to be able to speak about the social impact angle in a very, very comfortable, powerful, responsible, yet owning this space sort of manner. Infuse storytelling, I spoke about this already, but I think the ability to tell a story beautifully has a lot more impact. So it's important to infuse storytelling into whatever it is that you want to do. I think we come to this campaign now. This is called Like a Girl. I'm going to quickly play this for you.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm gonna just give you some actions to do. I just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
My hair.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aw.
My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
Is like a girl a good thing?
Actually, I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone.
So when they're in that vulnerable time between 10 and 12, how do you think it affects them when somebody uses like a girl as an insult?
I think it definitely drops their self-confidence and really puts them down because during that time, they're already trying to figure themselves out. And when somebody says you hit like a girl, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because they think they're a strong person. It's kind of like telling them that they're weak and they're not as good as them.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swing like a girl?
Keep doing it because it's working. If somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting to the ball on time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. Doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that is not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm going to do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Would you like a chance to redo it?
Yeah.
Why can't run like a girl also mean win the race?
Always is a sanitary napkin brand, and they use this as an opportunity to sort of speak to their audience about what they considered was something that was important for their audience to know. And I think this was a great campaign. It did really well as well. Moving on to the next segment that I have. Brand strategy and social impact. So like every other plan or every other campaign, it's important to understand the target audience. What is the brand promise? What is the brand promising to its consumers? What does it stand for? What are the key messages that you're going to look at? What are the key messages that you're going to define around your social impact strategy? How is it aligning to brand value? So the brand has a certain value. How are you going to link it up to it? And how is it that you're going to bring that in line with the brand value? How are you going to fit it into the brand voice? Like I said, seamlessly without it seeming like a new thing, without it seeming sort of, off. So how do you infuse it in such a form and manner that it's really, really powerful and impactful? And of course, brand positioning. How is it going to help you redefine the positioning of the way your brand is pitched and positioned in the world to both internal and external stakeholders? I think all relevant and important things to think of in the journey of understanding what this could pan out for the brand. This is one of my favorites. I'm not going to play it, but I would recommend you all to watch it. It's called Rank 10 in My Bedroom. It's by Greenpeace. Of course, this is a social impact organization, so they focus on this, but I think there is a simplicity in the storytelling of it, which really makes the audience wake up and take notice. It's a great example. Well, coming to the brass tacks of the core, as I call it. How do you do this? First, you need to be honest as the brand. You need to be authentic, and you need to align your honesty and authenticity. And what I mean by that is you need to stop being driven by noise and background noise around you, or by competition or what they are doing. I think it's important to find that honesty and the granularity of what the brand stands for, and use that authentically in all of the messaging, in all of the way the brand is positioned. Also, it's important to play to strengths when you have a certain kind of ideology around what it is that you want to achieve and what your strengths are. Playing to your strengths always augments that desire to want to do a certain way. I think that helps. Using humor is a great way to communicate social impact. It's great to get people to question what they think, what they believe, and hence sort of push the envelope in some form to get people to start questioning their inner intent, so to say. Community engagement is something that never goes out of style. I think it's a used, overused, abused word over the last few years. But having said that, I think understanding communities that would be invested in social impact and in communicating the social impact that the brand wants to sort of position and pitch becomes relevant and important. So engaging with the right communities becomes a thing. And of course, the third time this is featuring is, of course, to tell the stories and to tell them really, really proudly. This is again something that I would encourage everybody to watch. It is Procter Gamble. It's called The Look, and it's about bias in America, and it's about African American bias, and it's about racism. Again, a great watch, an interesting sort of a campaign that took off. There are several other campaigns. I think when the whole wall was being put up by Trump, there were a lot of protesters who actually came up. Even brands stood up. 84 Lumbar, I think, was a brand that stood out when it sort of protested the building of the wall. And the campaigns are again powerful, and it's great to watch. So I think in a nutshell, the idea was to share with you why social impact communications can actually, by brands, trigger change at a level that is actually impactful. So yep, that's me. That's how you can reach me. Those are my handles. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. That's it from me.